What is going on, guys? Preston here from Preston and Logan Vlogging Gaming. Welcome back to our video. Now, this Motorola G7 Super/Power. This phone was very good for its time when it came out, and I used this for about like till the end of 2020, and it was a good phone when I used it. It was pretty good when it was around. It came out 6 years ago in 2019. Now this phone is really unusable now. So yeah, I think I'm getting a Motorola, like a backup phone. Maybe. I thought of buying a Motorola phone and just using my Samsung as a backup phone. And just using the Motorola phone. Because I've had a Motorola phone since 2020. I thought about it. I thought about getting this phone. The Motorola G Power 1225. I read off the specifications on it. It has IP69 dust water resistance, IPS LCD display, 120Hz refresh rate, 6.8 inches screen, 1080p screen resolution, Android 15 up to 2 major Android upgrades, MediaTek Dimensity 6300 processor, micro SD cards expansion slot, 8 GB of RAM, 120 GB internal storage, 50 megapixel camera, and it only records in 1080p 30 frames per second. It has stereo speakers and a headphone jack, and it has wireless charging and 5,000 mAh battery. I thought about buying that Motorola phone because my carrier has the Motorola phone for like only like $125. And I also thought of buying this phone too. Gotta find it. I'm currently recording on my Samsung phone, so I can show you the specs of this while I'm charging out the phone. It's about time I get a new Motorola phone because this phone's about shot. We've had this phone for quite some time. It's really old. The software's outdated on it. It's 5 generations old on software updates. This phone is running Android 10, so it's really old. So here's the Moto G2025 that I'm looking at too. IPS LCD 120Hz 6.7 inch screen, 720p screen resolution, Android 15 2 major Android upgrades, the MediaTek Dimensity 6300, micro SD card slot, 40 GB of RAM, and depending on the storage you get. Hold on, this phone will slide up. Hold on a minute. That phone's frozen. It's being unresponsive. Let me pull up my computer so I can show you guys. Because that Motorola phone is absolutely unusable. Pretty much. My carrier has the Motorola G Play 2024 for only $30 on Walmart.com, and they have the Motorola G Power 2024 5G for only $80, and they have the Motorola G 5G for like $90. Let's pull it up. Okay, so a G5G IPS LCD 120Hz 6.7 inch screen, 720p screen resolution, Android 15 up to 2 major Android upgrades, MediaTek Dimensity 6300 processor, micro SD card expansion, 40 GB RAM. The storage depends on which carrier you have. 50 megapixel camera, only records at 1080p at 30 fps. Stereo speakers, the headphone jack, 5,000 mAh battery, 30 watt charging. There's that phone. The G Power 1225. IP69 dust water resistance. IPS 120 Hz refresh rate. Just 6.8 inches screen. 1080p screen resolution. Enter 15 to move to major Android upgrades. MediaTek Dimensity 6300. 8 GB RAM, 128 GB internal storage, micro SD expansion, 50 megapixel camera, 1080p at 30 FPS, stereo speakers, 5,000 mAh battery, 30 watt power charging, and 50 watt wireless charging. There's that phone. The G Power 2024. This phone is only $80 on Walmart.com for my carrier. IPS LCD, 120 refresh rate, 6.7 screen, 1080p screen resolution, Android 14. It's getting Android 15, but that's only all it's getting. 720 MediaTek Dimensity 720 processor, micro SD expansion, 8 GB RAM, 128 GB internal storage, 50 megapixel camera, records at 1080p at 30 FPS, stereo speakers with headphone jack. 5,000 mAh battery, 30 watt charging, and 50 watt wireless charging. There's that phone. Let's look up this phone. Motorola G Stylus 1224. POLED screen. 6.7 screen size. 1080p screen resolution. Android 14 at the major upgrade. Qualcomm Snapdragon 6 Gen 1 processor. Micro SD expansion. 120 GB RAM depending on what it is. 50 megapixel camera. 4K video. Stereo speakers. USB-C. 55,000 mAh battery. 30 watt charging. 50 watt wireless charging. I can get the Motorola G Stylus 5G 24 on my carrier for like $155. So yeah, I can get all these phones for really cheap on my carrier on Motorola phones. Now I can get the A16 5G on my carrier for like $15. It has the Exynos 1330 processor, and it's only been in the US for about like 3 months. Has IP4 dust water resistance. So there's that phone. It's the Galaxy A16 5C. Super AMOLED display, 9 Hz refresh rate, 6.7 inch screen, 1080p screen resolution, 1014 6 major OS upgrades, Exynos 1330, micro SD expansion, 4 GB of RAM, 50 megapixel camera, records at 1080p at 30 FPS. It does not have stereo speakers on it, which kind of sucks. Fingerprint sensor, 5,000 mAh battery, 25 watt wire charging. Now, the Galaxy A26 that I was looking at is on. I can get it off my carrier, but I can get it off Samsung.com on lock for $300, which is a steal. You could trade your phone in for it cheaper. Let's see, it's Super AMOLED. This screen 20 Hz refresh rate, 6.7 inch screen, 1080p screen resolution. I'm always on display. Android 15 up to 6 major upgrades. 1 UI7. Exynos 1380. Micro expansion. The RAM depends on which one you have. 50 megapixel camera. Optimum stabilization. 4K video. I don't think it has stereo speakers, but I think it does. Fingerprint scanner, 50,000 mAh battery, 25 watt charging. That phone's only $300 in Samsung Unlocked. The Galaxy A26 is. Now the Galaxy A36. Super AMOLED display, 6.7-inch screen, 1080p screen resolution, always on display, Android 15, his major OS upgrades, Qualcomm Snapdragon 6 Gen 3, no micro SD card expansion on this phone. Depends on what gigabytes RAM you have. I think the one on the Samsung Unlock is 6 gigabytes. 50 megapixel camera, 4K video, stereo speakers. Yeah, that's pretty much it for that one. Now, the Motorola G Play 2024, which is only $30 on my carrier on Walmart.com, is the specs. IPS LCD 900 refresh, 6.5-inch screen, 720p screen resolution, Android 13. The Motorola G Play 2024 is not getting Android 15. It's only getting Android 14. So that's a bummer. Qualcomm Snapdragon 680 4G processor. My rest of your 4 gigabytes of RAM. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna get the G Play 2024 just because of the software. 50 megapixel camera, 80p 3 fps. Stereo speakers, pedal and jack. 55,000, no, dang it. 5,000 milliamp battery, 50-watt wire charging. Yeah, those are all the phones that I'm getting. So yeah, phones I thought about getting, and just keeping my Galaxy A54 5G as a backup phone, because I really want to use a Motorola phone again, because I have not used one since this phone right here. I'm not using this as this phone right here. This Motorola phone. I'm not using this as this phone. This phone, when I had it, it was a good phone to use. Now it's just outdated and old. This phone is. Like, look. I'll show you what it's running. Hold on a minute. It's running Internet version 10. And Alaska got a security patch level 4 years ago, and Google Play System update 5 years ago. So yeah, this phone's like done for. I get a new phone for this. Yeah, so there's that. Yeah, so it's about time I pitch this phone and get a new one, which I don't have a problem with. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'm out.